Welcome, folks, to the brackish backstage of Alabama's most eclectic aquatic playground, the Mobile-Tensaw Delta, where mullet leap like popcorn, gators loiter like porch dogs, and the salt sneaks in like a nosy neighbor bringing deviled eggs and homemade scuppernong wine. Today, we're diving fin first into the salty side of this freshwater wonderland, where tides mix tea with Tabasco, and a few unsuspecting saltwater guests crash the swamp party. I'm your host, Stu Donald. Let's head to the Delta. Now picture this. It's late summer, the Delta's waters shimmer under our fried oyster sun, and Mobile Bay's salt water is creeping up like gossip at a fish fry. That's when things get interesting. You start casting near the battleship, maybe thinking you'll score a bass or two, but what's this? Your line tugs harder than your Aunt Patty's braid in church, and up comes a speckled trout wearing its best freckled tuxedo. Speckled trout, officially spotted trout, unofficially the prom kings of brackish water. They dance around bait fish like it's homecoming night. You'll find them schooling near drop-offs and oyster beds, hitting soft plastics like they owe you money. The Alabama state record for speckled trout is 12 pounds 4 ounces. The IGFA all-tackle record speck was caught in Florida in '95. It weighed 17 pounds and 7 ounces. The IGFA all-tackle length world record was also caught in Florida, this time in 2015, and it measured 87 centimeters, or 34.25 inches American, which surpassed the old record by 3 inches. Current Alabama recreational harvest regulations call for a slot of 15 to 22 inches, with one over allowed, and a total of 6 fish per person per day. And then there's the redfish, bruisers in bronze armor, shoulder charging the marsh like linebackers. You could catch one near the causeway, and it pulls so hard, your boat starts questioning its life choices. The Alabama state record redfish, or red drum as it's sometimes called, is 45 pounds, 9 ounces, and it was caught in 2013 in an industrial canal right off Mobile Bay. The world record redfish was 94 pounds, 2 ounces, caught up in North Carolina back in '84. In Alabama, the current redfish regulations are a daily bag limit of 3 fish per person with a size limit of 16 to 26 inches total length. Unlike in previous years, this year is new, that any redfish caught over 26 inches must be released, and no bull reds over this size can be kept. For the longest time, redfish was thought to be too fishy tasting for the average diner. But in the early 1980s, Chef Paul Prudhomme from New Orleans came up with a method, or I should say one of his sous chefs came up with a method of coating the redfish fillets in a whole lot of dried spices and then cooking it in clarified butter over super high heat. Now we now know this dish is blackened redfish. This dish became so popular that we almost fished redfish into extinction. Because of that, there's no longer any federal commercial fishing allowed of redfish in the Gulf. And the only state that allows it is Louisiana, but it is under very strict conditions. Let's not forget the flounder, nature's living doormat. This pancake-shaped ninja hugs the bottom so close, it's basically part of the decor. You bounce a jig along the muddy flats and bam! You've hooked a fish with a permanent confused expression. There are 2 types of flounder on the Gulf Coast. The Gulf flounder, which favors clear, saltier waters typically found along sandy bottoms near the Gulf shoreline, and it is rarely found in Mobile Bay or much less the Delta. The other is found throughout the lower delta, and that's the southern flounder. In Alabama, the minimum legal size on the southern flounder is 14 inches and up, and it is important to note that flounder fishing is closed for the month of November. You are allowed to keep 5 flounder per person. The Alabama state record for southern flounder is 13 pounds 3 ounces, and it was caught in 1975, while the Gulf flounder record is 5 pounds 1 ounces. The world record for southern flounder is 20 pounds 9 ounces. And then there's sheep's head, striped like convict zebras and armed with teeth straight out of a dental horror show. They nibble barnacles off pilings and your bait with the delicate cunning of a grandmother judging potluck casseroles. The Alabama recreational bag limit for sheep's head is 8 fish per person per day. There is also a minimum size limit of 12 inches. The current Alabama state record for sheep's head was caught in March of 2022, weighing 16 pounds 6 ounces. The IGFA world record sheep's head is 21 pounds 4 ounces, and it was caught over in New Orleans in 1982. It is not unheard of to be anchored out on a brim bed in the Delta and have one of these mean-mouthed fish come through and test the limits of your cane pole. Black drum, the gothic cousins of redfish, lurk in deeper waters, thumping like distant bass lines in a late-night jazz bar. They hit hard, grow big, and grunt louder than a granddad rising off the recliner. Black drum have the nickname Big Uglies, and it is well earned. What they lack in beauty, though, they make up for in fun. They are strong fighters. The smaller fish are the ones you want to eat. Called puppy drum, weighing under 20 pounds, they rarely have any of the parasites they tend to pick up as they get older. My personal best for any species is a 36-pound black drum that I caught off Cedar Point Pier in Coden, Alabama. The Alabama state record for black drum is 61 pounds, while the all-tackle world record is 113 pounds caught in Delaware. Black drum are extremely plentiful, therefore in Alabama, there is no size or bag limit for them. But now, we approach the slimy crescendo. Cue the gaff top sail catfish. Sail-like dorsal fin flapping like it's in a Renaissance regatta. Catch one and it slimes your boat, your hands, your dignity. But it fights like it means it, tugging your line like a toddler in a candy aisle. Right behind them comes the hardhead catfish, smaller, sneakier, with the survival instincts of a raccoon at a buffet. It'll hit shrimp, cut bait, or that leftover french fry you tossed overboard for good luck. Now let's talk danger. Both species sport venomous spines sharper than your ex's Facebook comments. Handle with care, gloves, pliers, maybe a prayer. While most anglers toss them back with a gentle, "not today," some brave souls fry them up with enough seasoning to make them socially acceptable. These slippery saltwater stowaways roam the lower delta like they own the place. You'll spot them near the causeway, lurking in brackish creeks and tidal flows, and plotting against bait fish and clean boat decks. And when the summer heat cranks up, they go wild, spinning in circles like aquatic gremlins at a salty discotheque. If the Mobile-Tensaw Delta had a circus, the mullet would be its headliner, leaping skyward in synchronized arcs like fish-shaped popcorn kernels escaping the skillet. These silvery daredevils don't jump for bait, fame, or fortune. They jump because they can. Locals say it's part exercise, part existential crisis. But truth be told, mullet are filter-feeding vegetarians with a flair for drama. You'll spot them in schools near marsh edges, especially when the water's warm and salinity's just spicy enough. And if you're fishing for specks or reds, keep an eye out for jumping mullet. They're nature's neon sign that says, "The buffet's open." Now don't let their acrobatics fool you. Mullet are the backbone of the Delta's bait economy. Cast netters chase them like paparazzi. Predators treat them like the Delta's version of fast food. They're oily, they're nutritious, and they've got more street cred than a crawfish in Mardi Gras beads. Some folks fry them whole, bones and all, while others use them strictly as sacrificial offerings to the gods of redfish. Either way, when mullet are jumping, the Delta's alive, and your odds of a good catch just went up faster than a gaff top on a sugar rush. Croaker may not win any beauty contests, but they've got one thing going for them. They talk back. These little golden brown bottom dwellers croak like they're auditioning for a swamp opera. They are the strange relatives of redfish and black drum. They are the cousins nobody talks about. You'll find them lurking in sandy channels and muddy flats, especially near the mouths of rivers where saltwater tickles the toes of freshwater. Toss out a shrimp or cut bait and they'll hit it with the enthusiasm of a toddler discovering cake. They're not picky, They're plentiful, and they're the Delta's unofficial welcome committee for beginner anglers. And let's be honest, croaker are a gateway fish. You catch one, and suddenly you're hooked on the whole brackish lifestyle. They're edible too, with sweet, flaky meat that's perfect for frying or sneaking into gumbo when no one's looking. More importantly, the other fish think they're tasty too, which makes them great cut bait. But their real charm lies in their attitude. They grunt when caught, croak when handled, and generally behave like the Delta's middle child, always desperate for attention. So next time you reel one in, give it a nod. It's not just a fish, it's a voice in the chorus of the swamp, singing backup for the specks, reds, and flounders that headline this show. These aren't the only saltwater specials you may hook into in the Delta, just the most common. Pretty much anything that swims in the Gulf may be found here from time to time. Heck, when I was a teenager, I saw a small blue marlin jump out of the water on the Tensaw River, and you can drop crab traps with some success miles north of the closest saltwater. Next time you're out there casting into the mysterious, mud-scented waters of the Mobile-Tensaw, remember you're not just fishing. You're mingling with history, biology, and the kind of characters that would have made Darwin giggle. And if you hook a gaff top that slimes your cooler, don't freak out. It's just trying to make it in this big, brackish world, same as the rest of us.
Did y'all know that every time one of y'all clicks like, I hide one of Stu's socks? It's just a fun little game he don't know we're playing.